What is going on, everybody? It is episode 619 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again, though we're all alone, with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Happy Friday. And you know what? It is a slow news day. It's a slow news day, but we're here to just give it our all and finish this week strong.
Yeah, because Monday is a holiday. You know,
Yeah,
I guess you'll be wishing for that slow news day on Monday when we're not here, right? You're going to be missing the show.
Yeah, we totally forgot about that until like a few hours ago, though.
Yes. So, guys, we will be off on Monday.
Yes.
We will be taking the day
For Memorial Day.
Yes, for Memorial Day. I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Let us know what your plans are.
I usually go skate on holidays like that because it means that a lot of businesses are closed. So I will probably go out and skate.
I thought all the businesses would be open because that's when everyone's off
Government
work.
buildings will not be.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. Go skate City Hall. That's what you go do on Memorial Day. So, guys, before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. Share these videos with your friends, the live streams, with your friends and family, loved ones, even the people you hate. Because the more people that watch these shows, the more people that share them with their friends, and then it helps the show grow, and it really is the best way. Also, remember, all Super Chats, $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read those Super Chats right then and there. Perhaps you feel bad for us being all alone today.
What feels worse is getting passed up for the Libertarian Convention. Like, that's really rubbing salt in the wound.
Oh, man. Like
I know Trump is going to be there, so I didn't know that at first. That's different.
Yeah.
But wow.
It's yeah, wow, we're just chopped liver to you guys,
We are.
right?
We
Yeah,
are.
nobody cares. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we got a bunch of stuff to get into. Number one being, so over the last couple of weeks, you guys have followed, I'm sure a lot of you have followed what's going on with Assassin's Creed. Obviously, there's been a whole bunch of news coming out about the decision to cast who they cast as a character in the main role, which was a whole big thing. Now there's discussions about the sexuality of the character, which is all very stupid. And now there was another article today. There was a very interesting think piece written about the nature of haters, which I thought was kind of fascinating. But also, they're talking about it getting review bombed before it even came out, which technically isn't really a thing. But what they mean by that is that it's the most downvoted video Ubisoft has ever done. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit more about all of that stuff. But we're also going to get into some other stuff. Speaking of Japan, streamers are ruining Japan. So says PewDiePie.
It's been going on for a while, and PewDiePie has the most to say about it because he actually lives there.
Yeah, and the funny thing is this is actually true because one of the sites that I look at a lot for content is Dexerto, and it feels like every other week there's some video of somebody saying, like, somebody going to Japan and doing something unruly and getting and annoying people.
Yeah, but thankfully they're finally taking action.
Good. You gotta get rid of the influencers in whatever way you can. We're also going to talk about the fact that mental illness, my friends, is not a superpower. We have a specific couple of examples because we kind of got into it a little bit yesterday, but it's this discussion that it feels like people elevate the nature of what used to be something that you work to fix is now becoming part of your entire personality. That's a problem. So we've got some celebrity examples, of course, of that being done. Camila Cabello being the most obvious one that even before Mary sent it to me, I had already seen it, and I physically cringed when I saw the graphic show up on my screen when she sent it. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to be giving you a review for Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
You have to include that part. A Mad Max saga.
As far as I'm concerned, if you don't put Mad Max in the movie, I don't think you should have Mad Max in the titles. But that's just me.
That's fair.
So we are going to review that. We'll do that towards the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. In case any of you are planning to go out and watch that film, you will be able to hopefully skip ahead maybe or come back and finish the show, but we'll do that segment last. So Mary, if you are ready,
let's go. I'm ready.
She said she's ready. All right. First things first, we've got some sad news to start the day. Very somber. The Doge meme dog has passed away.
Honorary cute of the day.
It is. The
dog was 18 years old.
Very, very sad. It says, this is from the owner. It says, to all of those who loved Kabosu?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a Kabosu. On the morning of the 21st of May, Kabosu crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Thank you all so much for the support over the years. She went very peacefully without suffering, as if falling asleep while holding the warmth from my hand.
Into meme heaven with Harambe and the rest of them.
I actually have that here.
Yeah, Elon posted.
He did.
The photo of Harambe with angel wings.
There is also this one.
Aww.
It's very sad.
No, it's cute. I
sad.
like it.
But there were some pictures. TMZ had some pictures that I thought were. That one's good.
She's so tiny.
And that one's good. I love it. Very, very, very cute, but very, very sad. So
it's the end of an era.
It really is. Really. So say hi to Harambe for us.
Yep. Salute.
It's very, very sad. Wait, I have a question. Would this affect the price of Doge today?
Dogecoin?
Yeah. Should I be buying it? Should I be buying
I didn't
more?
even think about that. I think it might be higher price today, though.
It's really funny. I was telling Mary yesterday. I said, you know, the whole Nancy Pelosi stock trader tracker thing. I feel like I want to take like just $100 and just see if it works. Like,
I mean, it probably does.
I know nothing. Who here?
What if she's changing her investments now to sabotage everyone who's copying her?
I went and took like a tertiary look, like a look at the app or the website and everything and how it works. And all it does is it doesn't really matter because it gives you like the date that she made the trade, but then the date reported is always like a week later anyways. So it's like that matters.
That's kind of pointless.
Maybe if there's a way to get that information quicker, perhaps it works.
Insider trading.
Yes.
That's how to wait. That's the way to get that information quicker.
The best way to make money is to just buy or sell whatever Nancy Pelosi is also buying.
I know
or selling.
she's definitely going like big on Dogecoin today.
Her net worth just passed like $250 million.
Cool. Awesome.
Just
I know that's not her salary.
throw the tea into the harbor, ladies and gentlemen. This is
Let's
a problem.
go.
This is a problem, everyone. All right. So, karma. This wouldn't really matter for karma because he's a Catholic, right? So,
True.
Catholics don't buy into karma. So here we go. The Kansas City employee who put out the tweet that doxed Harrison Butker was fired.
Now, I don't think this guy doxed anyone. I don't think that you can dox someone by saying what city they live in. I'm sure that was already public information, right?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not.
But it's just kind of stupid that this like 25-year-old intern who was given the control of the Twitter account for a whole city decided that it was time for him to use it to shitpost about his personal opinions.
I think it's funny because I don't think it's kind of what you said before. Boomers don't really understand technology and like the power that a whole city's social media page has is kind of insane. And the idea that you just give over the passwords to just basically a 25-year-old intern is kind of insane.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the times we live in.
I remember when I was a kid, somebody in the state of Minnesota locked themselves in like the KDWB radio room and played "It's the End of the World" on repeat until they were able to break down the door and get them out of there. Just imagine being somebody who's kind of nihilistic and you just start putting out
someone who worked there.
I don't know who it was. I don't even.
Someone just broke in.
I was so young that I don't remember how it happened or what happened. But like, imagine. Like somebody's just really, all it could end up being is just nihilistic climate propaganda until they get the password changed.
Yeah.
That's really the power that you have controlling the social media like that.
They had to put a stop to this man.
They did. So it says on Thursday, Quentin Lucas revealed that the city separated from Kansas City staffer who publicly roasted the 28-year-old Butker after his Benedictine college speech. Just a reminder that Harrison Butker lives in the city of Lee's Summit. You really
That's
have to
not
care.
doxing. I'm sorry. I don't care what you say. That's not doxing.
You have to care a lot to go. But the better part is like that guy probably had to go look it up.
It's already probably on Google.
But I'm saying the guy had to go look it up and then type out the tweet.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I'm saying he had to put effort into that. He didn't just type it up. He had to go at least do a Google search.
Putting research into your hate tweet.
Yeah.
But also, Harrison Butker's teammates have been pressured to speak out, and they didn't throw him under the bus, at least not completely. Patrick Mahomes said this about the commencement speech. I've known him for 7 years. I judge him by the character he shows every day, and that's a good person. We're not always going to agree. He said certain things I don't agree with.
That's about as fair of a response as you're going to get from somebody who has a lot of views that are probably fundamentally different than yours. Sports can be a great unifier in that
Andy
respect.
Reid also spoke out. He said, I don't think he was speaking ill of women, but he has opinions and we all respect that.
Yeah.
I let you guys in this room and you have a lot of opinions that I don't like. And then Travis Kelce also spoke out because he was doing his podcast that he does with Jason Kelce. Yeah. And he defended him as well, calling him a great person and a great teammate. But obviously with another caveat, like, yeah, that doesn't mean I agree with everything that Harrison Butker believes.
That is about as fair. Like 20 years ago, this would have been the response that would have been completely normal.
Well, maybe that's a sign that we're, going back to times like that where diversity of opinion would be acceptable.
No, I think it's because sports unifies players in a way that other professions don't.
Because they have to see him as a person, right?
Well, also, like, team cohesion matters. And you, like, an actor, like how many times do we see actors, like, they're barely off the set of the movie and they're talking shit on the movie that they made, right?
Yeah.
Or the people involved. That's not something you can really do in something like sports, which is ongoing, and the ability to succeed requires you all to at least get along. Like, locker room cohesion matters.
Travis made it clear he doesn't agree with, quote, just about any of the thoughts Butker expressed in his talk. He did say it's not going to make him think any more or any less of him.
Perfect. That's
great.
a perfect response. I have no problem with that. Whatever. I saw Chelsea. What did Chelsea Handler? Chelsea
Handler?
Chelsea Handler got involved
Who
in
asked?
this. Yeah.
Who
the hell
asked,
asked
bitch?
you? Who the hell asked Chelsea Handler? Hold on. I have to look it up.
I mean, we already know what she said without looking it up, but
it was something really, really. Okay, there it is. Why does it say?
She is. I don't know. What did she say?
Hold on, I'm finding it here. 2 days ago. Here we go. Let's watch this.
Oh boy.
There's a man by the name of Harrison. You may have heard there's a man by the name of Harrison Butker who's talking more than I typically like for a male. He's a kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I learned that kickers rarely get tackled. So based on his misogynistic rant during a recent commencement address, I'm guessing this Bible thumper thumped himself a little too hard with his Bible and gave himself CTE.
Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
First of all, Harrison, you're a kicker, so you have one important part of your body, and it's not your fucking brain.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her
Wait,
life.
why did she speed this up?
Because he was talking slow.
As a wife and as a mother. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no.
Isabel, please blink twice if you need us to call for help. But the real kicker is that Harrison Butker's mother is a renowned physicist who has a degree in chemistry and a master's in medical physics. So, who paid for all those youth athletic team fees and uniform fees and equipment fees when Harrison was a kid so he could grow up to have a career making millions of dollars for fucking kicking things? My guess is a working woman. Harrison, this is the first time I've heard about you, and hopefully the last. And after this, I'm going to go ahead and do what your fellow teammate does and just pretend like you don't exist.
I don't talk to Harrison all year long, man. I just let him do his thing. We sit right beside each other in team meeting, and I don't say one word to him.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
We already knew what Chelsea Handler had to say.
That is correct.
Whatever.
Yep. But that's what you expect.
And it's not like he was like saying, I really wish my mom hadn't had a job. None of you ladies should have a job either. Like, it's just you're reading into it something that he never implied or said out loud.
There was also, I thought it was funny because today Chris Hemsworth got like his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he thanked his wife for basically, his wife is also an actress. She's in the movie. She's in Furiosa.
Was she?
She was I forget, she didn't play
smaller role.
Yeah, a smaller role. But she plays Elena in the Fast and the Furious movies. But he basically says that she made the sacrifice for the family so that he could pursue his dream to be the bigger actor. And the thing here is that that's the whole point, right? Is it's two people who work cohesively to build a family together. That doesn't mean she doesn't get to act or do her job. It just means that they have to make they have to make the call sometimes that he, being the bigger star, will probably get more roles that will bring more money in for their family.
Right. I think that people also came to some snap judgments about Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes when she said that she stepped back from taking on roles because she wanted to be home with her kids. And they were like, you couldn't possibly want that. You want the wrong thing, and we're going to tell you what you should want.
Correct.
Because feminism is about choice.
Correct.
Question mark.
Correct. So I just thought it's weird how maybe it's because of the self-centered nature of Hollywood that they can't imagine people working together towards a common goal.
I mean, it's not even about that. It's just that they don't understand there are still pockets of the culture who, like the girls in the crowd at Benedictine College, okay, who did not in any way have any objection to what Harrison Butker said.
Yeah.
They think those women don't exist. Or
Yeah.
if anything,
I mean,
they're
they
believe that they're so indoctrinated that they might as well be Stepford wives. They're totally brainwashed. They have no self-determination whatsoever. And they've never met people like that. They're in a bubble. And, you know, to be fair, the girls at Benedictine College, they're probably also in a bubble.
Well, that's the thing.
But they don't, I mean, I just don't think that they look down on people outside of that bubble nearly as much as the ones in Hollywood do.
Yeah, I suppose like we're all kind of,
in a bubble.
We're all kind of in a bubble of our own making. I make that point, or at least I try to make that point a lot. Is like, look, depending on what you look at online, who you associate with in the real world, or who you associate with on social media, you create a bubble for yourself. And the best thing you can do, or at least in my opinion, is that accept that it's not always going to be the same for everybody else, and try to not look down on them for approaching life differently most of the time. Like, obviously we have that discussion sometimes. There's the don't be so open-minded, your brain just up and falls out. But this is true. Like, Hollywood used to be a place where the push for women to be able to have a career and make decisions for themselves was something that was done under the notion that it's another opportunity. It's another option. Now to them, it's the only option, and everything else is a step backwards.
Women in Hollywood give up everything for men. Like, they're obsessed with getting male validation. They sleep with powerful men in order to get roles and opportunities. They give away their souls for men. Okay, so to claim that a woman who gets married is doing this anywhere near the amount of, like, you know, like diminishing herself nearly as much as those actresses do on a daily basis is frankly ridiculous.
Well, we'll have to wait and see whether this speech ends up hurting team morale next year.
I think they'll be fine.
We'll have to wait and see.
I think they'll be just fine.
All right. Let us move on then, shall we? We've got more to discuss. This was interesting. I actually tweeted about this the other day, and you sent this to me just before the show today. It says, Glen Powell reveals he and Sydney Sweeney rejected offers from every streamer for the rights to Anyone But You, despite being promised guaranteed paydays and bigger budgets. His quote said, "We said if we make this on a streamer, it won't have any cultural impact, and everyone was saying rom-coms were dead theatrically, so we knew we could get hosed, but we thought, let's take the gamble, because what if we could bring them back?"
Okay.
Yes.
He also recently said that he was offered a role in, what was it? It was some franchise.
Oh, he was offered a role in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. He was offered a role in Jurassic Park. He turned it down.
He's kind of doing
it
right now.
And his reason was because he felt like he couldn't add anything to the movie, or he couldn't add anything to the franchise. Now, maybe he was just saying that to make himself sound good.
No, I like that because you know what it is? Like, he doesn't want to... What he doesn't want right now is for people to confuse him with Chris Pratt.
Is that...
I'm just saying, like, right now...
Is it because you think they look alike?
No, I'm saying that he needs to set himself apart in his roles as far as possible. So he said he won't do Marvel movies. Chris Pratt does Marvel movies.
Right.
He said he wouldn't do Jurassic Park. Like,
right.
he needs to set himself... What was that quote that somebody had like 2 weeks ago? They said, in the trailer for Twisters, he looks like a movie star, and he looks like a dude who knows he looks like a movie star. Mm-hmm. And he needs to be able to exude that with roles that actually benefit him. And a trashy rom-com may not be the greatest thing for the male audience. I don't think he's really looking for the male audience right now. I think that rom-coms and the stuff that he's putting out in Twister, that's perfect. It appeals to both.
Yeah.
And there seems to be at least a quasi-romance angle to that trailer with him and the girl.
Yeah,
right?
him and Sydney Sweeney both seem like very intelligent, calculated people.
And Chris Pratt is more of a humorous actor. He doesn't really seem like a dude who's inherently going for humorous roles. Now, Hitman is apparently a comedy, and anyone but you a comedy, but Top Gun wasn't a comedy. Like, he's not going to pigeonhole himself. And him and Sydney Sweeney seem to be doing something really, really smart, which is that they seem to be approaching the back end of Hollywood, meaning the contracts, the movie roles they're choosing, and all this stuff in a very, very calculated way. There isn't that shortcut anymore where it's just like, I'm going to take a Marvel role and hope that it helps my career. Because I don't think that's actually done that for any of the actors outside of the big ones early on in the MCU.
Because the franchises are degrading.
Like, nobody, like, the Eternals didn't bolster anyone's career.
No.
Nothing after the first 3 phases bolstered anyone's career. So he has to approach it. He moved out of Hollywood too. He moved out of California and moved back to Texas.
Interesting.
So he's just like, I've worked hard. I don't need to be here anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
At such a young age, too?
Yeah. Well, okay. So did you guys know? Now, somebody can fact check me on this if I'm wrong, because I just saw it in a tweet earlier and it could have been fake. Apparently, he was in the stock market scene of The Dark Knight Rises. He was like one of the trader bros.
I seem to remember someone tweeting about that. Yeah. But he must have been really young then.
Yeah. 2012. So that's over a decade ago.
Yeah, like a teenager.
Yeah.
How's that?
Well,
how does that work?
He's in his 30s now.
I thought he was in his late 20s.
Somebody check. I feel like
look
I said that one time.
I could be totally wrong.
I thought he was like 34. I thought I said he was 27 once, and somebody's like, "No, you're way off."
I could be totally wrong. Okay, it says he's 35.
Okay, yeah.
He's 35.
So
that makes sense.
He gets murked by Bane in The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
I think he's doing it right, and I appreciate that because I'm looking for the people who are trying to make bold but calculated decisions in Hollywood. And we're going to cover something on Monday, which is like the Hollywood Reporter listed what they consider to be the top 10 new actors, the new faces of Hollywood.
The A-listers.
The A-listers that are, I guess, whatever, passes for A-lister these days. So, and Sydney Sweeney is doing it the exact same way. Sydney Sweeney is being very, very shrewd with how she approaches the industry. So good for them. All right. Oh, where'd it go?
What's
Here
up?
it is. No,
Not the Rakita clips.
No. That was something else. This is Julia Fox.
Yes. Julia Fox recently spoke about how she has been celibate for going on 3 years because nothing good comes from sex.
Mary's like, you're so close.
She also used this as an opportunity to soapbox about Roe v. Wade getting overturned. But I feel like she's wearing a plastic bag. She's wearing a plastic bag. We need to watch the clip because as she's talking about this decision, you can hear it annoyingly crinkling the entire time.
I feel like
she's basically wearing a trash bag.
Okay, here we go, guys.
What's your reasoning behind being celibate, and in what ways do you believe it has improved your life?
Well, I just think nothing good comes from having sex, including children. No, I'm just kidding.
She has a kid, by the way.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
But, I think with the overturning of Roe v. Wade and, our rights being stripped away from us, this is a way that I can take back the control. And it just sucks that it has to be in that way. But I just don't feel comfortable until things change.
Wow.
Thoughts?
Continue.
Oh, there's more? Okay.
Yes, there's more. It gets weirder.
Do you have an end date to this?
I honestly, it was like 6 months and it was a year, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's almost 2.5 years and it's still going, and I don't know.
Do you
it's
miss
gonna take
it?
a miracle.
Do you miss it?
In the beginning, yes, but I think
Okay.
it's just like getting over anything, smoking, drugs, whatever it may be. Eventually, you just forget, and then all that energy that you were putting toward sex, you can put it toward.
Can I ask you a
other
personal
things.
question? Do you masturbate a lot?
Not as much as you would think, but like maybe like once or twice a month.
Okay.
She
I'm
should
just
get
so
one of
tired. Like,
those,
sometimes
the old like popping ones.
She needs to wear a bubble wrap dress.
She should wear a bubble wrap dress
and just continue popping it
Correct.
the entire time.
Correct.
That would be great.
I mean, what were you?
Did he just ask that question on live television?
Were you hoping that her end date would be like when I get married and settle down? But
no, I was not expecting that at all. Yeah. I'm not that. I'm not that gullible.
I said, what were you hoping for?
You know, I didn't expect her to take the Roe v. Wade angle, actually, because that's not really a trending topic now. But I guess because it's an election year, she felt the need to bring that up. I think it's actually a good thing if a significant portion of feminists go on a sex strike over the overturning of Roe v. Wade, though, because that's literally just returning to form the way that society was before the birth control pill and abortion. That's literally just what we did back then. And shotgun weddings. But overall, that was how it worked. Like, that was the dynamic. And women had a really good reason to abstain from sex without seeming like they're being rude.
Yes.
Which women hate, by the way. They hate being seen as rude.
She couldn't she just make a point, like, if she was actually politically aware, be like, I just moved to a state where my values were represented
She already
in the laws.
lives in New York City,
exactly.
doesn't she?
She's like, it's a virtue signal because I refuse to believe that she lives somewhere where that's actually a problem for her.
No, it's just a symbolic form of protest. Or really, it's because she got full body lipo, she started shaving off her eyebrows, and men didn't really want to have sex with her anymore, so she's just gonna act like it was a choice.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
I'm joking.
Yes.
Okay, any woman can have a hookup whenever she wants. Exactly. I was joking, Brett.
The point
is she was trying to be, like, by doing all of those things with her appearance, she was trying to be repulsive to men and openly said that. Like, she's proud of making herself look ugly. So maybe she is just not interested in men. And she's going to be indoctrinating her son, Valentino, to be gay or trans.
We'll have to wait and see.
It's almost a guarantee.
All right. Yeah, it is annoying that it's a virtue signal because she doesn't live in a state where this is actually a problem.
Obviously.
What it is they're all authoritarians and they want the federal government to make these rulings on everything because they're authoritarian douchebags. All right. Lady Gaga, she's going to be in trouble. I like, if this had come out 2 years ago, she'd be in deep trouble right now with even her fans, I think.
I mean, maybe even a year ago, if this came out,
yeah.
people would be going crazy over it.
This is a little bit more safe to talk about now.
Yeah, recently this video came out of Lady Gaga admitting that she played several shows while infected with COVID, and she was intentionally doing this, infecting the rest of her crew with COVID as well, because she just couldn't let people down. She couldn't let the crowd down. And you do what you got to do for show business.
You know what? She's like, look.
But this sounds like grounds for a lawsuit.
I infected your grandma, and that was a risk I was willing to take.
She literally held a gun to grandma's head.
Yes. She says, I shared it with everyone on my team. I just didn't want to let all the fans down. They were all putting themselves in harm's way every day coming to the show. Go off, Queen.
Well, she might have been referring to something that happened like last year or the year, like 2022 when things were already reopening, but that does sound like something she could get seriously sued for by her crew members. That's like, was that?
She's like, why do you care? I'm playing Harley Quinn. Come on, guys.
I don't know. I feel like people would be way more angry if this came out a year ago.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean, it's like with anything, right? People wait until it's safe to start talking about it.
But, you know, every once in a while, someone brings up masks again, and then they say, oh, I've still been masking ever since 2020 every time I go out, and this is just what I do to feel safe. And if you don't, then you're actually ignorant because there are new variants. What's the new one called?
It's called...
it had some weird name.
Oh, what is it? Oh, it was really funny.
Yeah, it was.
Chat, what's the name of the new variant?
Let me look.
What is
variant?
And thank you, Unknown. I called her Lady Super Spreader as well.
Flirt. Flirt.
Yes.
With the lowercase I.
I saw 2 days ago somebody driving alone with a mask, and I got transported back. And the best part was driving alone with a mask while they had like another mask hanging on the mirror. It just it brought me back, man.
It's a mental illness.
I got some COVID nostalgia from that.
Do you have actual COVID nostalgia?
Oh, I've got plenty of COVID. Look, I lived it up during COVID. I got to skate every single day, and there wasn't a soul around outside to bother me. It was fantastic, and my job didn't I didn't get put on furlough or anything. I was allowed to keep working, so it didn't really affect me in that way. So I have a small bit of nostalgia, not having to you know, worry about getting kicked out of skate spots. And obviously I'm not masking while I'm, but there was one time where like very early on in COVID, I got kicked out of a skate spot by the police, and they like didn't want to come close. They're like, instead of coming up to you and being like, you can't be here, you got to go, they like parked an obscene amount of places away and were like, you gotta go. And I'm like,
what are you gonna do about it? Come over here and arrest me?
This wasn't one of those things where like they said it from the road. They clearly cared enough to come into the parking lot, but wouldn't cross the whole parking lot to say it.
So did you just keep going about your business?
I was like, what?
I can't hear you.
And like, okay. And then like, I had a friend of mine he's like, yeah, if they come up to you, just cough.
Yeah.
Just violently cough.
Yeah. Because people were still like scared at that point.
Yep. So lawsuit incoming. We'll have to wait and see whether that actually happens to her.
I hope not.
We would hope
She just
not.
cares about putting on a show.
Here's the look. Pansy cops could have been. Maybe they had like protocols from their like supervisors, like unless it requires you to come forward. But I would like to think that no.
You skating alone somehow is infecting the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're kicking you out because you're on private property. They're not kicking you out because of COVID. But yeah, stupid. All right, guys. Well, it's another day, which means that there is, in fact, another Diddy allegation.
Yep. Another day, another Diddy lawsuit.
Every single day.
Somehow. It keeps on coming. And I think that 50 Cent is just going to be cashing in on how much content this is creating for his docuseries on Netflix. So yeah, Diddy has been hit with a new lawsuit, and this one is from far back in the past, in 1995. The woman who filed the lawsuit is named April Lampros. And at the time that she met Diddy, she was a student at FIT, the fashion school in New York. She
literally
says
called Fit. I like it.
He offered to mentor her in the fashion industry. I'm already...
Red flag.
I'm already thinking...
The reddest
This
of
is when you
flags.
should have walked away. After showering her with gifts and flowers, she claims they met up in 1995 at a Soho bar where he, quote, plied her with alcohol. Can you tell me what that means for someone to ply another someone with alcohol?
I can tell you
what does that mean?
What I imagine, if you were to picture this being written as a movie scene, right? It's like she's sitting here, he's sitting here, she's sitting here, and she finishes the drink, and he immediately picks up another and hands her the next one to keep drinking.
Okay, sure, but otherwise, it just sounds like you were at a bar with a guy and he was buying you drinks.
Yes.
And you were drinking them and getting drunk.
T-Pain been real quiet since all these stories started coming out.
The bartender. Yeah, where he plied her with alcohol. And this is the most bogus sounding lawsuit so far against Diddy, I gotta be honest. It just seems like, you know, you're jumping on the bandwagon, and yeah, he was a piece of shit, but also you were kind of not looking out for yourself either. He then brought her back to his room at the Millennium Hotel. In the docs, April claims she started to feel ill and as if, quote, the walls were closing in on her. I don't know if that's supposed to imply that there was something like slipped in one of the drinks, if she was roofied or what, but
it was a particularly strong drink.
Diddy allegedly started to force himself on her. She says she was still conscious but unable to defend herself when he began raping her. April says she woke up the next morning, quote, nude, sore, and confused. Months later, this is the second incident. She heard from Diddy months later as he began pursuing her again. She claims he lured her with access to music industry events.
So he's already assaulted her. And this is now months later.
Yep.
And she was lured back
with
to the person that
clout.
assaulted her.
With clout.
Okay. Continue.
Okay, it's like the trap that, like, there's a carrot under the box, okay?
And then you knock the stick out?
Yeah, that's... You can get it into these events with a bunch of famous people, lady. And then she took the opportunity. Okay?
So she went back to him after... Okay, continue.
In the lawsuit, her attorney describes her as a, quote, hopeful yet naive college student and took Mr. Combs at his word and believed that the first rape was a possible mulligan and decided to give him a second chance. Yes, of course. Why wouldn't you give your rapist a second chance? That's, it's not the first time we've heard this. Not even close. We've heard plenty of stories like this. So I guess this is just normal. She claims they were on their way to dinner, walking to his car in a parking garage, when he forced her to perform oral sex on him. A garage attendant saw them, but Diddy was unfazed. After that incident, she rejected his continued invitations, and he grew angry, calling her incessantly and threatening to blacklist her in the industry. This is a fashion student, by the way, like an undergraduate student at Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City, a literal nobody who can't even be blacklisted from anything.
Is this the...
But
I saw something in the chat mentioned it's basically... Yeah, JJW says it's basically sunken cost fallacy. He's already assaulted me. I might as well gain exposure from it.
In a certain way, yes. Yeah, which is really sick. She claims that he then developed a mobster persona. And, if the sex trafficking claims from Rodney Jones's lawsuit are true, maybe that's not just a persona. Maybe that's just who he was on some level. April claims there was an incident in 1996. The third incident. I think this is the third. Maybe the fourth. When he, quote, ordered her to his apartment. I don't know what the F that means. You just were asked to come to his apartment and then you did. In a stern voice, apparently. Whatever, okay. When she got there, she was introduced to Kim Porter. So that was his wife, right? Yeah. At the time? Yeah. I'm assuming, in 1996. She claimed that he forced ecstasy down her throat and then demanded she have sex with Kim Porter while he masturbated in the cup chair. Okay. Eventually, she alleges that he raped her again. I'm guessing on the same night. Then she says she finally broke things off in 1998. So this has been 3 years of on and off incidents like this. And who knows if they were having normal, quote, consensual hookups in between these that felt okay to her. But then she claims she had a run-in with Kim Porter at a restaurant she was working at. Not Kim Porter, but the April Lampros chick who who's launched the lawsuit. So then she alleges that Kim Porter told the owner of the restaurant that April had tried to poison her, and she threatened that if he didn't fire her, Diddy would shut down the restaurant. I don't know how he would possibly have the power to do that, but that's what she said. And April was then fired off of that threat. She also says that she and Diddy ran into each other again at the Rockefeller Center around the end of 2000 or early 2001. And she said he was dating Jennifer Lopez at the time. They exchanged pleasantries, and Diddy ended up coming back to her apartment. Ended up. Keywords. He just ended up there. He just, transported himself somehow.
He was just inside. I have no idea
how. He just materialized at the apartment.
I hate it when that happens.
He just ended up there. Okay? Where, he couldn't have possibly been invited back to your apartment, right?
All of this sounds unbelievably consensual to me.
Where he suddenly, quote, violently grabbed her and forced himself onto her, and she says she was able to fight him off, and he left. And sometime last year, she claims someone told her then boyfriend that he had seen a video of her having sex with Diddy. In the suit, she says she's been told Diddy recorded their sexual encounter without her knowledge and was showing the video to multiple people.
Yes.
So she's suing him for sexual assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And also, this is weird, names Bad Boy Records, Arista, and Sony Music Entertainment as defendants, claiming they enabled him to commit these crimes.
know what to say. Like, given that they found the video from 2016 of his that he got from the hotel, it's possible that tape could have been confiscated. Like, it seems like he held on to stuff.
Maybe. It wouldn't be out of character for him to record things secretly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. But it's interesting because this lawyer is also representing, this lawyer is representing her, is representing Rodney Jones, Liza Gardner as well in all of these lawsuits filed against Diddy. And he's representing another person who has launched a lawsuit against Diddy's son for sexual assault.
Yeah.
So he's just making bank off of all of these people.
And all of this, well, we know that Diddy is not, like, as ridiculous as that whole story was, so many elements of that whole story was, it's very clear that Diddy's not a good guy.
Sure.
That he's a bad person.
Of course.
So it's all just kind of a spiraling den of sadness and depravity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this just sounds like a very confused person.
I mean, I think you could ask 10 people and get 10 different answers. Some might say confused, some might say opportunistic, some might say
both.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's all true and maybe she was sugarcoating it actually.
Yes,
but
I randomly run into Diddy at various events throughout the year.
Like, who is this lady that she's being invited to all of these events with A-list celebrities?
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe she was dating somebody else who was invited there. I don't know, but it's definitely sounds like you could interpret it as a social climber doing things that social climbers do.
Yeah, I imagine more stories will come out before all of this is said and done.
Definitely.
Somebody's like, move on with the next topic. I'm like, look, tell him to stop doing this stuff, and we'll
tell Diddy to move on.
I'm sure you've got his number. Go call him and tell him to stop doing this stuff, and we'll stop reporting on it. Until then, it's news.
Yep.
All right, what would you like to see, cute or cringe of the day?
Let's start with cute.
Cute first? All right, we will do that. All right, first things first here, ladies and gentlemen. This is from Alex Making Beds. Says, here is Samu again. He's currently with my parents in their cottage, enjoying some sun.
Aww.
That is very cute. Looks very excited to be napping in the warm sunlight.
Cute.
All right, this one is from, I almost said this one's from Post. This one's from RA. Says, I was sitting in my car the other day and started to hear little taps on the roof, so I looked out of my sunroof window and saw this little birdie hanging out with me.
Is that a pigeon? He's a fat one.
That reminds me of last night when we were at like the absolute worst time in Fury Road. A fly just decided to go across the projector and hang out for like the climax of the film.
Like the most important scene that you're supposed to take really seriously.
We should have been able to ask for our money back because of the timing of this thing happening.
It was like prolonged too.
Yes, it continued onwards. It was literally like, imagine it's the climax of the film and the protagonist is giving their monologue to the bad guy.
And there's just a shadow of a fly on the projector crawling across their face.
Yes.
It was great.
Oh, it was funny. All right.
Good to provide some levity.
It is. It did. All right, let's go. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and cringe. We said cringe, right? We have cringe. What did we say?
I sent you the cringe.
I got it here. Here we go.
I hope you have it.
Thirst trap videos at Disneyland around children is the lowest of lows, it says. This is depressing. I'll tell you how. We're gonna make it happen. Why is this a thing? And am I going to copyright it because of this music? I'm muting this.
I hope not. Yeah. Just, making content for your OnlyFans at Disney in front of children. Totally normal. Maybe this is just a symptom of, the dinks taking over Disney World. There are no kids there anymore.
They met on Swingers on Main.
They met on Swingers on Main.
They met on Swingers on Main for sure.
Wasn't there another cringe?
Was there?
I thought there was another one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You sent me this one. Here we go. It says, cheating boyfriend about to be exposed. Broken heart emoji.
This is just what he does.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Bobby! Bobby! I am not gonna bury my son!
Hello everybody, I just wanted to check in to let you know I've went a bit quiet this week because I am working on lots of new exciting content.
What do you want from me?
I love you.
What?
That wasn't cringe. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. My favorite is the I'm the dead wife in an action movie, and it's
And she goes like,
she's like, "Don't record me." Oh my god.
she has the bed sheet always.
Yes.
And then she does this. She does.
That was my favorite thing all day.
Yeah.
I mean, that was literally Bridget Monahan made some money being, the wife in John Wick, and she's never even in the movie. She's just she's on his phone.
Yeah. Queen.
All right. That was amazing. It's the song in the background for me when he's doing I've been quiet for a while.
And then just blood curdling screams.
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah. This has been going on for a week and a half or so, but this controversy about the next Assassin's Creed game continues because they have chosen a protagonist. This game has, been asked for a very long time. People have wanted an Assassin's Creed game in this era of Japanese samurai for so long, and they decided the perfect way to do it was to cherry pick a very obscure historical figure because he was black, not Japanese. And not only that, they're also hinting that he might be gay.
Hinting, yes.
That you could possibly choose to make him gay in the game.
Let's read the quote.
Well, it's unclear, but I looked at this blog post and it says, Naoe and Yasuke's disparate personalities lead them to have different relationships and rapports with other characters, and they don't always feel the same way about people, nor do people always feel the same way about them. Romantically, they will also attract and be attracted to different types of people. Through the pair, players will get to experience a multitude of relationships.
That was a corpo slop term if I've ever seen one in my entire life.
It was definitely corpo slop. It just sounds like it was possibly written by AI because how do you say that many words and not communicate a single damn thing?
He was the character was in real life was a Christian missionary, right?
Yeah, so I read into the backstory and don't hate me if I get anything wrong, but basically he was possibly from Mozambique, but he was black, and he traveled to Japan with Jesuit Christian missionaries. Then they met up with this Japanese feudal lord of some kind.
Nobunaga.
Yes, that was his name. Doesn't really matter. And this Japanese guy took a weird fascination in him because of his skin color and kind of showed him off like a prop. Eventually, they got to know each other a little bit, and then he made him into a weapon bearer, basically. Not a samurai. There is no evidence that he ever went through training in martial arts. There's no evidence that he ever fought in any battles. And honestly, I don't even think there's evidence that he learned Japanese either. But he was just a weapon bearer, and I guess you would call a page, a cart boy, is something you said. But there's no evidence that he fought in battles. And basically, they're cherry picking parts of the historical fact to fit a narrative that is just as fictional as Wakanda in order to make this game trendy and DEI friendly. And fans are not a fan of that. Like they asked for this specific era to be covered in the franchise, and they were expecting something that actually fit the historical narrative, and that's not what they were given in the product. And it's still months and months out from coming out. That's coming out in November, and the response has been terrible. They're allegedly getting review bombed before the game is out. I think that they're referring to getting ratioed.
Yes,
on YouTube,
that's really
they posted the
what this is.
trailer and got massively ratioed with
It is the most disliked video.
586,000 dislikes compared to around 263,000 likes on the trailer. And I think that this is just like one of many stories of
Preview bombed.
this is one of many stories of like outrage marketing.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what they were going for. Like, how could you expect anything else as a reaction
I
to
don't
this?
know. Like, I think if you had done this 10 years ago, the reaction would have been very different.
What would it be then?
I just don't think that the culture has kind of eroded around these types of things now so badly because of DEI initiatives and because of the desire to constantly subvert expectations, which is worse now than it's ever been. That it's a wound that is more rubbed raw than it's ever been in this industry.
So people would have had a positive reaction to this.
I just
10
think
years ago?
less negative. Maybe I'm underselling the time period. Maybe 15 years ago, it wouldn't have
15.
mattered as much as it does now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I came across this think piece that was talking about how the culture war has ruined fandoms. And it is coming from the perspective of someone defending choices like these, which is stupid. But they had some good points because they said, haters of a franchise used to be the ones who used to love the franchise. And now the haters seem to be the ones who found out about it the second that a controversy arose.
My issue with that is if you take Star Wars, for instance, the people who were the most vocal about pushing back on Disney Star Wars were longtime fans of the franchise, and they were always defamed and called fake fans for not accepting whatever corporate slop Disney shoveled down their face.
True, but I'm sure there are also people like me who jumped into the conversation not having been a fan of a certain franchise and just taking notice of the fact that it was getting dismantled and destroyed on purpose by corporations.
Because your interest is in the cultural element of it rather than the franchise itself.
I don't know. I'm not saying this is like outrage that I'm expressing. It's just like, am I allowed to take note of that and comment on it because it's relevant? It's happening in so many different examples.
I've been noticing.
It's true though. And they're the ones calling attention to it. If they just made the product that the fans had been asking for years,
they also gaslight
this would have never happened.
They gaslight you and say that for noticing, you're the problem.
Basically.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's true. Like, they're saying the culture war has made everyone into trolls and the whole world is their bridge. And while hate has always been in fandoms, at least the people involved actually cared about the fandom. That made it easier to talk to them or ignore them.
Doctor Who is a really interesting case of this right now because the most vocal people in that world that dislike it are longtime fans because it's not like Doctor Who is the type of Doctor Who is as big as it is not Star Wars. But the people that love it really love it. And when they see what's being done to it, not just by Disney as a corporation or the BBC, but by the people who actually made it popular back in its heyday. And so they look at what it was like early days. They look at what Russell T Davies was able to create before, and they look at what it's becoming now, and they have questions, and they have a right to have those questions. And their dislike of the current product doesn't make their love of it beforehand any less real.
Yeah, like Doctor Who is probably just one of the most brazen examples of a franchise like that just getting completely destroyed. But I feel like some aspects of this get blown out of proportion. I think the gay part of the Assassin's Creed controversy is totally blown out of proportion.
But the problem is they've done this to themselves by making it something. It is a
leaving
cut.
it open ended.
It is a cut
I guess
that is so open now that by the time it heals a little bit, it takes nothing to reopen that wound. So people are very, very quick to push back on anything that feels out of left field or wrong about these types of things.
Yeah, they're leaving it open ended, which is a mistake. But I don't think that statement in and of itself implies anything, really. But maybe people who are more familiar with the way these games work would tell me. I played a couple of the different Assassin's Creed games, and I think one of them was like the pirate one, and I forget the other one. But I don't remember there being any relationship options in them. That's not even a thing. Maybe they just decided to add that.
This stuff is far more is just as prevalent in movies and television, and people are sick of it. And you're never gonna get past this now. And it is the type of thing that's only gonna get worse as they move closer and closer to nothing but IP being created. Like Fall Guy fails. There's nothing new under the sun. You're not going to get anything new. The stuff that is new gets no budget and will release. We watched a trailer for a movie coming out about a child with autism called Ezra. Ezra that looks, for all intents and purposes, like a pretty wholesome story, right?
Sure.
And it's not going to make any money, and it's not going to do any numbers.
I disagree because I think they had a really good cast.
I like Bobby Cannavale.
They had a good cast.
The actor who's playing the lead, the dad, is a great actor. The problem
How the heck do you get Robert De Niro in a movie like that?
I mean, Robert De Niro, it's not like he's like...
I just thought it could be relatable to enough people now that it could do well. But you're right, like for the most part, like when we were at the theater last night, I looked down at this hallway of these cardboard displays they put up for the new movies that are coming out. And it's like Quiet Place prequel, and it's Inside Out 2, and it's,
Quiet Place prequel.
sequel after sequel after sequel displayed right in front of you. And then there's If.
And nobody's going to see it.
And no one's going to go see If. Like, even though Ryan Reynolds is in it, no one's going to go see it. And that's just sad. But, like, going back to this, obviously rewriting history to make yourself feel warm, fuzzy feelings is stupid, and they're not going to learn their lesson.
No. And people are sick of it, and it's not going to get any better. But the funny thing is
Love our show. It's never going to get better. Everything is just going to get worse.
Let me rephrase that. So when it comes to movies, or in this case, video games like AAA titles, it will not get better within the context of those structures. So independent films, smaller video games, yes. It will open a market for people who are going to naturally want to fill the needs of people who want to see things that don't lean into these types of initiatives. So don't look to those mainstream movies for the fix. If that is your problem, if it is like, look, we have to go see a lot of movies, right? And for the most part, I can find something fun or interesting or enjoyable in just about everything we go watch. But a lot of people don't have the patience. They're not going to want to spend the money on that, especially with video games. This game's going to cost like what, $130 or something?
Whoa,
like
that's
$100 or
crazy.
$130, right? Like, look, people are going to look for it elsewhere. And as technology improves and games become easier for people to make, as movies become easier for people to make and distribute themselves, there is a market to be filled for people who just don't want to be insulted by Hollywood. Luckily, part of our job is to have our intelligence insulted by Hollywood. So we have to go and make the best out of what we do with the movies that we watch and things like that. And I have no problem with that. That's fine. A lot of people don't have the time or the inclination to do that. So there is a market to be filled by other people. So, all right.
$130. Are you serious about
Something
that?
like that.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right. Super chat.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Friday, Brett and Mary. No guest. What is Chair? Chop liver?
There is Chair.
Bring
right
on
there.
Chair and ask him about his career."
Hello, Chair.
How's your career going, Chair? I think it's going well.
Strong silent type.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, "I will be standing watch on Monday."
Okay.
What does that mean?
Well, we will be taking a day off on Monday. It'll be kind of nice to have an extra. There's something that never gets old. Even as a kid, all the way up to an adult, everyone loves a long weekend. Everyone loves a long weekend. My dad was one of those people. I always loved because my dad would take, like, before holidays, if you had like a Monday holiday, he'd take Friday off too. Because my dad never used his vacation time ever, so he would take the Friday off so he could have a long weekend, and then we'd go like either up to like a family member's cabin or something like that. So everyone loves long weekends.
Yeah. Never use them properly. Honestly, I'll try this time. Cora Nelson said, "Sup, banana and mango. Happy Friday."
Wow.
I don't like that.
Mango.
I don't like that.
Banana.
Mangoes are like the worst.
Ugh.
Shane H. Wilder said, "I'll be cooking, writing, and maybe doing some video/meme work if something comes to me on Monday. Might go to daily mass. R.I.P. Doge." Yes. R.I.P.
Let's do one more.
Shane H. Wilder, "I looked. Doge is actually gone down today." What?
Well, I'm not ghoulish enough to invest in Doge on the death of the dog. I shall not do that.
But you're supposed to buy low.
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah,
Buy
you're
low, sell
supposed
high.
to buy low, which means buy
I'm
now.
all about dollar cost averaging with my crypto. All right, let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact. It is time to talk about how all of the damn streamers are ruining Japan.
Yeah, influencers have become a full-on infestation in the country of Japan. And finally, actually, Japanese police are cracking down on their misbehavior because they certainly deserve to be treated like terrorists. You're not even allowed to jaywalk or litter or even be loud on public transport in Japan because they have an orderly society. They're all very polite there. They care about the order of society. And influencers are the exact opposite of that because they thrive off of being menaces. They thrive off of chaos. It's what they exist to create. And this has actually been going on for years, but PewDiePie just made a video about it earlier today, I think is when he posted it, saying YouTubers are ruining Japan. Because it's kind of the perfect environment to disrupt people's days.
Yeah.
There was one, Johnny Somali, who he called out without actually naming him or showing his face. Because Johnny Somali has been streaming himself, doing these IRL streams, just running amok, threatening people. He made a video where he went on a bus in Japan and then refused to pay.
Yep.
He went on their metro, I think, and refused to pay, ran from cops, and made a whole spectacle of it. And, you know, he got arrested, which is a good thing. But Johnny Somali is very offended that PewDiePie called him out, and he said he's threatening to sue PewDiePie after his comments about disrespecting Japan.
I'm almost expecting him to be like, my dad could beat up your dad.
Literally.
Yeah.
But PewDiePie brought this up because he lives in Japan, and he's lived there, I think, since he like kind of semi-retired from YouTube.
Panther Colmax is right. No Decoy Voice on for this one. I would have loved to have Decoy Voice
here.
on for this discussion. Decoy Voice is the man.
This is definitely his bag as a content creator.
is.
But you know, PewDiePie lives in Japan and he cares a lot about respecting the culture there despite being an outsider.
And Drovsky's right. Johnny Somali's the one who like almost got stabbed when he was in Israel. Remember that?
He's gone to all sorts of places, like trying to get in trouble. He's gonna end up getting himself in serious trouble, like prison, right? One day. It's inevitable at this point. But yeah, it's becoming a serious problem for the people who live there. And I think they're gonna realize they need to shut down tourism for Westerners if they want peace in their society.
Not everything needs to turn into LA. Where you walk down a street corner and there's just a dude doing an NPC stream.
I mean, not everything needs to be Portland. I hate like the whole keep Austin weird thing, or like whatever, like keep blank weird. No, it wasn't always weird, and it's not even weird now. It looks like every other metropolitan city that's turning to shit right now. It's there's nothing weird about it. It's actually just, you know, there are people who are strung out on the street and it's sad. It's not weird.
Keep San Francisco weird, guys.
There are all these bars with exposed brick and hoppy IPAs. Like, I can't stand that culture. And some people would like to remain insulated from that.
Maybe we'll just do San Francisco roulette,
Which is
where
fine.
we just go walk around San Francisco without shoes on.
Absolutely terrifying. I would not go take a risk like that.
Be like, we'll just see what happens, guys. Hey, actually, that'd be great for content, except you have to find a way to fake it. You'd have to find a way to put like steel pads on the bottom of your feet.
Fake feet, prosthetic feet.
Yes.
Instead.
Yeah, I'm not actually risking
Stilts.
I'm not actually risking an infection for content. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. I also came across this video of a Western tourist just chasing after someone in Japan and recording them on her phone. So let's take a look at that.
Wait, which one is that in? Is that in the next?
One of the reasons why Japan has been banning tourism in certain places.
Here we go, guys.
Because people are getting harassed?
You're such a...
Who would do this?
That's...
She's literally chasing her. You can't do that.
You're a bad person. You don't understand social decorum.
Yeah. I mean, F around and find out once that lady gets arrested. And then I also was reminded of Logan Paul's infamous trip to Japan when he went to the suicide forest. Before that ever happened, he was already acting like a clown in the streets, screaming and wearing costumes and harassing people, recording people without permission. So I wanted to rewatch that moment.
All 2 minutes of this?
Yeah.
I just gotta be careful.
It's iconic. It's a moment in history.
Talk about a dude who at least got in shape and had his own glow up, because
and maybe a personality glow up.
he looks like
too?
he looks like he's about to be shoved into a locker.
Respect the culture. Japan is all about the respect.
Hold on, I'm just turning the audio down here.
I don't think that it's
The dumb Americans have arrived. Look good. Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just a vlogger. Gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture. Tokyo is a real life cartoon. It's gonna eat the GoPro. What did he do? No. You know how it is in Japan. They're all about the respect. So we're gonna be respectful. LoganPaul.com/shop. Look, they just got loaves of bread. I'll take the whole thing. What's the issue?
This one is just for a display.
Oh, so we're gonna be respectful. The Game Boy Color. How much? 9,500. Ah! Excuse me, sir. The game seems to be malfunctioning. Macho broken, though.
Macho Broken-o.
Toyota, I choose you. No. Okay, get him. Honey, get him. Oh, catch you. I choose you. Japanese police. Thanks. Pants coming down. I just gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture. Mavericks, people who are doing it differently. People who walk on the street instead of driving in cars. Hi, how are you? Okay, hit the road to Japan. Hello. Hi. Hey. Hi, Miami. How many
You're
what?
filming someone in their fucking car. Dude.
This is why people hate influencers.
And Americans.
Hi,
Exactly.
how you feel? We're gonna be respectful. Hey guys, you want some fish?
You just gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture.
You sure you don't want this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, bro, I'm done with these fish. Japan is all about the respect. It's actually true. I know, it's true, so I gotta take my chotch levels and bring them down. Japan, Tokyo specifically, thanks for putting up with your boy.
Yes.
It's all about the respect. So I'm going to be as disrespectful as possible.
Remember, guys, that the majority of Americans, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, this is what they want to do for a living.
Yeah.
They don't want to be doctors. They don't want to be lawyers. They don't want to be astronauts. They don't want to do any of that. They want to do this. And it's, maybe find a middle ground of like doing so without being a complete buffoon. Again, he's obviously pretty different now in his business interests in what he does, but this is how he got his start.
He was still an adult when he recorded that video and when he recorded a dead body and everything that involved with that. So, hopefully he's done some maturing, but it's just unfortunate.
Just a prank bro turned to 11.
This reflects on, all Americans, basically.
Yes,
when this is your experience with Americans, this is what the stereotypes are going to be, is that we're loud, obnoxious, disrespectful, and annoying and fat. Yep. But even though he's not fat, but I'll include that one just because. Yep. Hopefully the Japanese police can, shut down these shenanigans.
This is the side effect where anything can become clout, right?
Yeah.
So it's the highest effort bit of that was the editing, really.
Someone else did that, for sure.
Yeah, really what it is, it's all about creating like a visual package for people to see. So it's like act like a buffoon and then fix it in post.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you.
As we dance. Slightly less buffoonish.
We're not as buffoonish as that, are we?
Self-respect and no.
I hope not.
Self-awareness level 0.
All right, let's read some super chats. Grofty said, I already licked the button. Sorry.
Well, thank you for that.
The like button?
If
it's the like button, not the lick button.
Yes.
Don't do that. Waffle Sensei said Chelsea Handler's only goal in life is to destroy young women's lives so that her life doesn't look so miserable by comparison.
I wouldn't go as far as to thinking that she's thought that far ahead about it. I think just misery loves company.
Yeah, it's more simple than that. Sorenko Productions said, Brett, why did you show Cringe of the Day early?
Which one was the Cringe of the Day that I showed early?
Julia Fox?
Julia Fox?
Or
probably
something
Julia.
else. I don't know.
Probably Julia Fox.
Nate said, I think we should look down on people who disagree with Harrison, especially Chelsea Handler. I mean, I know I do, because I don't think anything he said in that video is or should be, I guess, controversial.
In society, I'll settle for people being able to get along, even if they disagree with one another. Shocking. Do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said, Chelsea seems like she is taking a lot of copium. It's funny that Butker is getting blasted while the 2 players who got arrested on drug charges and the one involved in a high-speed crash haven't.
Yeah.
Who are those ones?
I forget, was it, who was the player that got into the car accident? I've seen all those, but unfortunately, guys, what you're seeing from Harrison Butker is the exception, not the rule. And in the NFL, there's more than a few cases of like spousal abuse and stuff like that. It's sad, but it's not uncommon. So it's just less interesting for them to talk about. So, all right, let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact. Time to remind everyone that being mentally ill is not a superpower.
Yeah, you're right. Mental illness, it's not cute. It doesn't make you special. It's not a superpower. It doesn't make you quirky. It's not a personality trait. I could go on and on. I feel like this needs to be said because I just am getting bombarded with examples of people thinking that either having a mental illness or some other disease makes them special or in a way superior to other people in society. And they're bragging about having mental disorders and other diseases on social media far too often. It's encouraged now. It's something you can bond over with someone. Like, oh, we both have ADHD or whatever. Like we're in a community because we have the same mental illness, so that makes us friends. And I have this whole online friend group related to what's wrong with me.
We have to watch the Camila Cabello one first.
Yes.
Okay, let's watch this clip, guys. Here we go.
Well, I have the worst anxiety, I have the worst OCD in the entire world. Like, I'm on meds for it. But
I have OCD too, and I'm on meds for it too.
What meds?
Lexapro.
Prozac.
Cute.
Well, I have the...
Yeah. That one went pretty viral. Why are they on SSRIs for OCD, by the way? Is that normal?
I don't know.
So they're not only bragging about their diagnosis.
Mood stabilizer might help with the symptoms.
But they're bragging about taking the same drugs.
Technically,
for
they're
that
taking different drugs, but yes.
Disorder. Society is not in good shape right now.
No, I think a lot of this comes back to the need to feel unique and special, right? So what most people, well, at least this is my limited view of it, and I could be wrong, that when people talk about being autistic, what they mean is they're talking, for instance, about having, they think they're either that they're Rain Man or that they have Asperger's, which is code for quirky in 2024.
Well, we got a $20 real quick from Dubby Nanners. I tell my wife all the time that my brain damage gave me superpowers. She just said forgetting where your keys are wasn't a superpower. I said it is when it's every day.
I just, a lot of it does feel like in a society where everyone's online and looking for their 15 minutes of fame or their way to set themselves apart from the crowd, to make themselves unique. One of the easiest ways to do that is to focus on internal mental issues that have fostered communities around them. And there is a lot of that. Now, that all may have started innocently enough, with people who actually suffer from those conditions banding together to find people to talk to about the things that they have uniquely suffered from. But as the culture has grown and as the discussion about mental illness and mental health awareness especially becomes more mainstream, it becomes something to discuss in almost a quirky fashion and not something to discuss as if it's a condition you're trying to treat.
Well, we got rid of actual loony bins, and then TikTok became the loony bin.
Yeah.
That's where they're all communing together to spiral together and contribute to all of their self-destruction together as like a movement. And what's dangerous about this is like which mental disorder is trendy that month or week keeps shifting, and they get more and more niche. And it's not even like I think these people aren't mentally ill. I think they're getting diagnosed with the wrong things, because you used to have a diagnosis for this. It's hysteria.
There's a $20 one there from Crispy Leg Transport, LLC.
Good afternoon. Your theme song of the day after the show is Off the Wall by Michael Jackson.
Okay. Well, I'll listen to it when we're not on stream so we don't get copyrighted.
Are you going to pick a theme song for us every day?
Worse, though, is like a lot of this now is self-diagnosis, meaning that they know in their heart that they have this condition. And even if the doctor says that they don't, they say that doesn't matter. That's just conventional medicine getting it wrong.
Yeah, well, there was also this video of a woman getting diagnosed with autism and crying happy tears of joy over her diagnosis, which she posted to TikTok, of course, because why wouldn't you in this day and age?
Here we go.
If you cried without posting it on TikTok, did it even happen?
Thank you. Autism. I'm diagnosing you with autism.
Thank you. Sorry, I think I was going to cry.
Don't. That's okay. Take a minute.
The look and feeling of validation, it says.
Yep, that's it. That's the validation that they're seeking. But it wasn't enough validation because you had to post it on TikTok too.
Yes.
So, you know, if you cried and you didn't post it on TikTok, it might as well not have happened at all. And then I also saw this extends beyond just mental illnesses. It can also be autoimmune disorders. And I have realized these are becoming more and more trendy, a la royal pains, people who just kind of identify with having an autoimmune disorder, so that they can belong to a community of people who are martyrs, basically. Yes. I don't mean to say that either the people in these videos are faking it, but some people have got to be faking it because there is no way it's that common. Let's just watch this one about Lyme disease being an intergalactic spiritual superpower.
I always suspected.
I worked with a medical intuitive, and she said every time she sees someone with Lyme, it's an intergalactic substance, and it's literally bringing in codes from the beginning of time.
Yes.
I know.
I believe this. This gives me chills down my entire body.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it in those exact words before, but I'm often trying to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Lyme is a gift.
Yes, yes.
It is not for the faint of heart.
No.
And it is for the most deeply spiritual people on the planet.
Yes. I worked with a medical intuitive.
That's the favorite thing I've seen today. Holy shit.
And I asked, like, is this satire? Because I would just feel so much better if it were satire. But I think it's real. God help us.
Okay.
And I mean it.
Okay.
We broke him.
I'm gonna go find a tick outside right now, and
so you can have intergalactic superpowers.
I want intergalactic.
Why wouldn't you want Lyme?
Look, maybe she watched Spider-Man last night. Maybe she watched Spider-Man. What do I know?
Thank you.
I have to watch it again.
Yes.
I have to watch it again. My favorite part is the waiting room music.
I worked with a medical intuitive, and she said every time she sees someone with Lyme, It's an intergalactic substance, and it's literally bringing in codes from the beginning of time.
Yes.
I know.
I believe this. This gives me chills down my entire body.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it in those exact words before, but I'm
The way she's
often
not
trying to say
blinking
the
is
exact
scaring
same
me.
thing.
Yeah.
Lime is a gift.
Yes, yes.
It is not for the faint of heart.
No.
And it is for the most deeply spiritual people
Yes.
on the planet.
Yes. I work.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing I've seen all day. This is the greatest thing ever. I'm going to go find a tick outside and make sure that I catch Lyme disease so that I can, too, get the gift from an intergalactic place far, far away. Deep, deep in the heart of space-time from before an era in which I knew, so that I, too, can understand the mysteries of the universe.
It's the ultimate cope.
This
though.
is
It's
all
like
just... No, this isn't... It's
something.
Not, it's
something
narcissism.
being wrong with me can make me special and lovable and unique.
Yeah.
And you know,
Also,
it's like, even if you genuinely are suffering from an illness like this, if you have OCD, if you have autism, if you have if you have like ADHD, you have Lyme disease, what have you, it's what you do to deal with that and live a meaningful life outside of that suffering that
That's what it used to
makes
be.
you an exceptional person. Having the disease in and of itself does not make you exceptional in any way, shape, or
It
form.
used to be what you accomplished in spite of the disease.
Yes.
That's what used to matter.
Yes. And I mentioned, I'm going to repeat myself. There is this trend going around where people are saying, you know, I can't do this because I have ADHD. I forget to shower because I have ADHD. I can't cook myself breakfast because I have ADHD. I can't get dressed because I have ADHD. And people are just getting fed up with it. And they're like, y'all can't do anything, can you? And it's setting back the mental health awareness discourse by like 10 to 15 years. And I think that is a good thing. Nature is healing if we can talk about these things realistically again.
You should be looking at what you can accomplish in spite of what you have.
Yeah.
Even if it is something, and this is not me being sarcastic or rude or even I'm not trying to be mean at all. Even if all it allows you to do is to get dressed, make breakfast, and exist, that should be seen as an accomplishment, not something to brag about not being able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, during like 2020 when I downloaded TikTok, I saw people who were just going into total psychosis from like having no social interaction. And they were, you know, they were on the app trying to connect with people in some way and bonding over the fact that like some of them were like, I haven't brushed my teeth in 6 months. And
But you were able to make the video.
And they record a video of themselves, and then people in the comments are like, "You're still valid." Like,
that's the name of the game.
What
in
is
all of
going
this
on?
Is validation.
Like the entire internet is becoming like a factionalist mental asylum.
Also, this is, I mean, I'm not saying this is an entirely gendered issue, but the desperate need for validation based on something that wasn't an accomplishment at all. This is not unique to women, but definitely affects women more.
We found something worse than a participation trophy, which is a non-participation trophy.
Yes.
You just didn't do anything, and we're going to give you a trophy for it.
And to the lady who was crying tears of joy, I wonder if the lady who was giving her that diagnosis even knows that those were tears of joy, but thinks they're tears of sadness. But really what they are is tears of saying, I can now explain away everything in my life.
Nor does the woman on the other end of the line know that she is being recorded on a phone call for TikTok clout. Yeah, overall bleak. But, you know, as I said, these women, they are mentally ill. They're just being diagnosed with the wrong thing. It used to be diagnosable that you had what was called hysteria, especially in women. On a much smaller scale, this is what happened in Salem. But they didn't have phones.
Yes.
Okay, this is important. And the psychological community, just like any of the other sciences, it's a group of flawed individuals and biased individuals coming to in many cases, flawed and biased consensus.
Not to mention it's a for-profit industry now.
Yes.
Much like colleges, which, they're not there to tell you what you need to hear. They're there to give you what you paid for because you're paying money. It's a problem. And all of this stuff, I'm glad you came up with these specific examples because I more or less read things like this all the time because one of the places where this is infested severely is Instagram with infographics and pictures of tweets that are talking about these things. LOL, so random. Look at how quirky I am.
Yeah.
And it's, oh boy, I think I might actually make that last video my ringtone on my phone. If it's possible. I think I might do that.
Lime is for the most deeply spiritual people on the planet.
I'm looking to
learn things.
I'm
here.
looking to learn the mysteries of the universe. And if that means I have to go in search of getting a tick bite, I guess that's what I gotta do.
Yeah. Wouldn't take you long in this area.
Let's go to Super Chats.
Sorenko Productions said Glen Powell was also in the Spy Kids franchise. LOL. Was he? As a kid?
As a kid? That was not him. That was, what's his name?
Well, he might have been like a side character. Shane H. Wilder said, I didn't know Glad made dresses. She's acting like she's Lysistrata trying to end the Trojan War. Sorenko Productions said, Uncaught Jams?
Perfect.
Rhaegar Targaryen, who is Julia Fox again?
That's a good question. A lot of people ask that question on a fairly regular basis.
Well, she was Josh Safdie's muse in Uncut Gems.
And she dated Kanye West for like a cup of coffee.
I think she confirmed in that clip that she never had sex with Kanye.
Okay.
Which is what she claimed anyway.
Okay.
But some people didn't believe her.
Okay.
Tacti Platty said, confirmed Glen Powell in Dark Knight Rises.
Yep. And they're saying it was Spy Kids 3.
Oh, okay.
Was Spy Kids 2, Spy
that.
Kids 2 Electric Boogaloo? Inquiring minds want to know.
Sorenko Productions said April Lamprey, that's ironic, LOL.
Lamprey is a fish, right?
It's Lampros.
Yeah, the name of the lady, but the lamprey is a fish.
Oh, okay.
But the lady's name is Lampros. Okay. Let's do one more.
Tacti Platty says, my wife says I'm so mean to everyone here because I torture you with People's Joker, and then yesterday was Skibbity Biden. Here's my reparations.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thanks, because Skibbity Biden freaking ruined my day.
All right, guys, it is time to move on. So before we get started, I do want to give at least a little bit of a spoiler alert because we are going to get into some of the nitty-gritty details of the brand new Mad Max movie. It was entitled
Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
Exactly.
I love that for us. I mean, the gist of it is this movie wasn't as good as Mad Max Fury Road. And that's just, I mean, what were you going to expect it to be an improvement?
I will say this. I had a perfectly okay time at the cinema.
Sure.
It was fine. It was great to see a movie like this on the big screen. But I put out a tweet last night that said, prequels are even less necessary than sequels because I don't need to know how Furiosa got her arm. I don't.
Well, you don't. By virtue of it being a prequel or even a sequel, it means you don't need to know any of the information that is being presented to you. But they do it nonetheless because that's the way that Hollywood works now.
So this movie is the origin story of Furiosa, which tells the tale of how she lost her mother and then goes on a revenge mission to take down the evil Dr. Dementis.
Yes.
Played by Chris Hemsworth.
I liked Anya Taylor-Joy in this. The issue is it took so long for her to show up in the damn movie.
At least 40 minutes.
We were already a quarter of the way in, I think.
40 minutes for her to show up.
We were with the child actress playing her for quite a long time. Longer than I feel was necessary to set up the foundation for the story.
There was some editing that could have been done here.
For sure.
Like one of the things that Fury Road did really, really well is it wasted no time. It was action. That first 30-minute action scene in Fury Road is fantastic and set the pace for the whole film. Also, I find this story, by its very nature, to be far more convoluted than the story of Fury Road, meaning that Fury Road was very simple. She abducts the wives to get them away from Joe, right? And then after that, it's about him trying to get them back.
Yep.
That's really it.
But in this one, it's like, we're going to go to this this holdout, and we're gonna go on this mission, and then we're gonna transport this here, and then we're gonna meet up in the middle, and it was a little bit convoluted. You're right.
Correct.
I didn't find it super difficult to follow, though.
I'm just saying that, no, what I'm saying is it's not about being difficult to follow, is that it contributes to the clunky pace of the film. That Mad Max, that Fury Road felt like breakneck pace almost from start to finish, whereas the pace of this movie felt all over the place.
It's 2.5 hours.
Yes, and it's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
So that was going to be the case anyway, but I'll just read the synopsis in case anyone needs
Go
it.
for it.
Snatched from the green place of many mothers, young Furiosa falls into the hands of a great biker horde led by the warlord Dementis. Sweeping through the wasteland, they come across the Citadel, presided over by the Immortan Joe. As the two tyrants fight for dominance, Furiosa soon finds herself in a non-stop battle to make her way home. So basically, it's a revenge plot.
There's a $20 super chat there from Dreamcast 90 says, so when Anna Furiosa shows up, did it switch to panoramic view? Ooh, that is a rough one. She definitely scans the horizon line better than the average person in this movie. Continue.
I was intrigued by hearing that Anya Taylor-Joy only has 30 lines of dialogue in the movie. I think they were well used, but everything else that was said was so cringy. Like, there's a huge problem with cringy dialogue in this movie. Did you agree?
I think that there could have been work done to change the tone of Dementis and make him more menacing than he was. I didn't take him as seriously as I took a Morton Joe.
Swashbuckling.
Yes, I didn't take him as seriously as
so
a Morton
Reddit.
Joe, and that's fine. Look, there's aspects of that fit within the Mad Max world because there is a lot, not Reddit necessarily, but there is a lot of very, very unique tone and comedy to Mad Max.
Oh, do you mean Joe? I meant Dementis.
No, I'm saying that Dementis is worse than a Morton Joe, is not as good as a Morton Joe.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Yes, yeah. He was like a comic relief character, but at the same time, you're supposed to hate him.
And you're supposed to find him menacing.
And
he manages that in a way because Chris Hemsworth is able to portray an imposing figure because he's a big dude. But Immortan Joe in Fury Road was infinitely better at looking. I think a lot of that, and it may seem silly, but had to do with the costume and the mask. And the uncomfortable close-ups that they would always grab of his mask, which I really liked.
What did you think of her love interest, Praetorian Jack?
Look, and is it really supposed to be a love interest? It's a connection interest.
Okay, she's in disguise as a boy because it helps her survive. Then
it was Mulan for like 5 minutes.
She was Mulan, and then her disguise, she lost her disguise, and then she was alone with Praetorian Jack, and then they formed some kind of connection. And I don't really understand why he wants to help her. He's just a good guy like that, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. And they bond and they decide they want to escape together to the green place.
There's a $20 super chat from Garrett Lancaster says, Dementis worked as a villain because he was utterly insane and broken and was only out to prove the world is so cruel. Look, I felt like that could have done with a more hardened tone.
Yes.
And not as much silliness to the dialogue and stuff like that.
He was being silly up until the very moment he died.
Again, spoiler alert, guys. We have given you multiple spoilers, so I'm going to keep going here. There is a point where at the end, and him and Furiosa are having their back and forth after she's captured him that I liked because he refused to apologize and he refused to beg and plead. And I felt like when he kind of goes into his spiel about the evils of the world, that's the tone it should have kept the whole movie.
Yeah.
Right there.
I mean, you get a sense that he has his own loss, so he feels like he deserves revenge too.
Correct. And as for the relationship, I thought the actor did a fine job of making it believable with the limited amount of time that they ended up spending together, which was only about, the second act.
Yeah, you were bothered they didn't have enough PDA?
No. What I was saying is that what I don't like is that Hollywood now goes for, they won't commit to the bit. Was it friendship? Was it just commitment through war? What was it? It doesn't make sense to her even really have a romantic interest because when you look at her character, she's kind of the embodiment of revenge. I mean, having a romantic interest at all doesn't seem necessary to me, but I liked his character and I thought he did well.
I liked it too, and I think it was clearly a romantic interest, not just a companion.
She wouldn't. They wouldn't have gone back for each other as much as they did without it being a deeper connection. And that's fine.
I just think it's like this is an age where people don't cry, so of course they don't kiss either.
Yeah. And yes, okay. So, but also like one of the interesting things here, and a mistake that I think that it made is they worked to build that connection, and then he dies off camera. Not. What I mean
in a
is
wide screen,
in a wide shot that doesn't really lend credence. You don't see her reaction to this. All you see is him get pulled away. And I felt that there was a moment there because this is right before she loses her arm. That could have been a great moment that really builds to this crescendo for her character, and she needed that. Instead, you see both the loss of the arm and his death off screen.
Yeah,
that felt like a mistake in editing.
Maybe
to me.
Yeah. Did you want to see her, yank her arm off?
Kind of. Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, look. Okay, so here's another thing. So in the press tour, Anya Taylor-Joy talks about fighting for the idea of female rage, meaning that there is a scream that she adds midway through the movie, right after she meets Praetorian Jack, that she had to fight tooth and nail for. That is essentially inconsequential. It's a nothing burger.
I was looking out for it.
I would have rather seen a scream of pain, though it wouldn't have made sense because they were all sleeping. Some type of scream of pain and then a rapid escape when she loses her arm, rather than her pulling her arm off without anyone knowing and then getting away.
Well, how else would she get away then?
I'm saying, then she has to run at a breakneck pace and get away.
We got a 20 from Garrett Lancaster. The only part that I didn't like in the movie was the scene with Max in it.
Yeah, it was completely thrown in there and didn't really need to be in there. The scene of him on top of the hill.
Yeah, why was that?
And it's not him. It's
obviously
his
not
stunt
the same
double.
guy, but and then after the movie, during the credits, they just start flashing scenes from Fury Road. And
Not
I'm like,
from
what? Did y'all not have deleted scenes or something?
Here's the other thing: revenge as a theme works better with men. The story of Fury Road is the instincts of a woman protecting mothers and the help of Mad Max to protect women.
Mm-hmm.
The theme of Fury Road is about revenge, pure and simple, over the loss of her mother.
And Jack, I guess.
And I guess, to me, I feel like the theme of Fury Road would resonate more with both men and women.
Probably. I thought that Fury Road was a very woman-friendly action movie.
The wife of George Miller was the one who edited that movie. He said to her, look, I need you to edit this film because if a guy edits it, now again, these are dubious claims, whether this is actually true, that's what would have come to pass. He said, if a guy edits it, it's just going to be another action movie. Well, this came across to me like another revenge movie, and it didn't benefit from the female editing because his wife edited this one again, and it was too long and it needed to lose at least 10 to 15 minutes of its runtime. The pace was too clunky and all over the place. I did not have a bad time seeing this film, but most of that is drawn down to strong visuals and action scenes. Little to do with the script was why I liked it. I liked it because I'm a dude and I want to see a bunch of souped up warship of war rigs going around and destroying each other. Yeah. That's cool. Guys will see the dude playing the guitar and just say, hell yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's not like I think Anya Taylor-Joy is a bad actress. I think she's a good actress. But I think that her having a very distinctive tone of voice and a very dramatic looking face helps a lot with her being so silent as she is in this movie.
Yes.
And that's a choice.
Mm-hmm. Again, her scream was completely unnecessary.
No, yeah.
She did great with the some of the best visuals in the scenes are when she's staring through crosshairs with a rifle, because her eyes are so distinct, and it looks fantastic.
Overall, I think it was just a lot slower than Fury Road, and not as good, but also not terrible.
Here's the thing: this is a conundrum for the viewer. To me, it's a hard sell to call it a Mad Max movie when there's no Mad Max in it. It's the world of Mad Max. This is a movie that you will be better off seeing in theaters, but will want to wait for streaming.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the crescendo, Crisis Party. This is a movie that visually you need to see in theaters, but should be waited for on streaming because of, in my opinion, the flaws of the film. So if you care enough about the tone of the Mad Max movies, if the idea of watching the amazing looking war rigs in the action scenes is enough for you, perhaps you go to theaters to see it. If the story and the pacing matter to you more than the action scenes, you're better off waiting for it to come out on streaming.
Also, no flaming guitars.
No, there was, but it was in the post-credit.
It was in the flashback.
It was in the flashback,
in the credits,
and unfortunately,
so it doesn't really count.
Without the flaming guitar, what am I supposed to do with this, really?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
All right. Alfred the Rock said, Mary dressed for a Diddy party, white on white, but looking lovely.
She's I don't think that's white.
This is pink. Maybe it doesn't come across. Years from now, does Tim Cass get a trad wife show, stay a hard-hitting mom journalist, or retire, luring month later, ruin her, my opinion? What?
I'm trying to find it.
I don't know what that means.
We missed a couple there, I think.
Did we?
So we got one from Corey Anderson that says, sounds like...
That was the one after it.
Okay, it's showing up differently for mine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do in the future quite yet once I'm a mom, but probably not be a hard-hitting journalist. That sounds awful.
Saltzilla says first Mad Max movie was a low-budget film. Yeah, from what I read, apparently all of the extras in the original Mad Max movie were paid in beer. Ah, the good old days.
Really?
Before unions ruled everything.
I mean, they must have been in SAG, right?
It's just really funny.
That's hilarious, though. Corey Anderson said, sounds like the lady suing Diddy is an escort. That would hurt her credibility. The Last of My Kind said they should have just made a game about Tom Cruise.
Yeah, so a lot of people were using the movie The Last Samurai as some type of gotcha against the people complaining about Isuga. And that's not because he's not the last samurai in the movie. He's the witness to the last samurai.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Grofty sent us emoji.
It's a party emoji.
Oh, okay. John Barrett sent us a sticker, which I don't know what it is.
Hold on, I will scroll up and I will find it here. Where did it go? It says keep it up.
Okay, thank you. Shane H. Wilder said, only played the first Assassin's Creed, just never got into it. Might go replay Stay. At least they didn't make the cat gay.
Hey,
Stray.
Maybe what they're trying to do here is make the movie with Michael Fassbender look retroactively less bad than it was perceived when it first came out.
Alfred the Rock said, Mary defends Japan. Does she realize they'd sell her worn underwear in a vending machine with no shame or guilt? Hope they help us fight World War III, though.
Yeah, but would that lady with the walking in the streets, would the lady walking in the streets do that to Mary? I don't think so.
Is that a thing?
Somebody will have to look that up.
Underwear vending machines? I don't want to look that up.
She's like, I'm not having that on my search history. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, but I'm not claiming Japan doesn't have cultural issues. I definitely.
But you wouldn't subject anyone to Logan Paul.
Yeah, I just think that they have some advantages over us too, which is like having a homogenous society with care for the rule of law.
Everyone is saying it's 100%
and cleanliness.
a thing.
Okay, I mean, if you guys are so sure about it, then it probably means you've used one of those vending machines. Pat the Plumber,
little sussy.
Pat the Plumber said, Bert, you ever see Black 47, screw you, Myrtle mangoes are awesome, SMH. I'm not Myrtle either. Gosh.
I don't know.
Black
I have
47?
not seen it. I have not seen it.
The Rumbling said, I tried to ask Tim on Discord about Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I didn't get picked for this question. But get past the superficial and look at who actually runs Ubisoft?
Ubisoft.
China is pushing DEI through different means.
The culture we live in today.
China runs Ubisoft?
We'd have to do some look into that. But yeah, the funny thing is I didn't hate the trailer for the game. Like I didn't. Like
I didn't watch it yet.
I didn't hate the trailer for the game. I thought it was fine. I just knew when I saw it that people were going to have tons of problems with it because out of all the people in the world, out of all the real life people that you could have chosen while going to Japan, you would not go to Africa and pick a Japanese person, would you?
Well, it's because Asian people aren't diverse enough.
Correct.
They don't count anymore. Nate said, I went to... Mille Lacs Lake one time, Brett. You ever been? I kind of want to move to Minnesota.
Look, if you move to Minnesota, don't move to like Minneapolis, please. But look, Mille Lacs is beautiful. All of the bigger lakes are beautiful places. Lake Minnetonka, all of those places are really pretty to go to. Just not places wherever in my tax bracket. That is for sure, especially Lake Minnetonka.
Shane H. Wilder said Japan is all about the respect, then proceeds to disrespect the entire culture.
Get it? That's the point.
It's not even like part of their culture. It's a part of every culture that you don't scream at people, throw things at them, and harass them in public. Like, that's not even a cultural thing. That's just a human thing. Corey Anderson said it should be legal for, I can't say that, Japanese people to cane vloggers. I'm sure it already is legal there. Corey Anderson, there is a chipmunk loose in my house. Thanks, cat.
Okay.
Your cat brought a chipmunk inside?
When are they going to make a new Alvin and the Chipmunks movie? That's the real question.
Hopefully never. They're gonna make Theodore gay. I know.
Yes. The sexuality of chipmunks is always the first thing I think of when I watch those movies.
That stands a task. Well, it's funny because all three of them had female chipmunk love interests.
There you go.
The Chipettes. That stands a tastic said, looks like Mike Tyson whooping the wrong Paul brothers' ass. I don't JoJo see why society allows these types of influencers.
Mary would tell you that this is the fault of liberalism run rampant.
Wait, I thought that Mike Tyson was fighting Logan Paul.
No, Jake Paul.
It's definitely Jake. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't help mixing them up.
Yeah, Jake Paul has the better beard.
Yeah. Rhaegar Targaryen said, I'm surprised YouTube let that word through.
The slur.
I'm not even sure if it's a slur, but
people were saying it's not a slur. But
I've refused to say it before.
Yeah.
And y'all got mad, but then I told Tim about it, and he was like, yeah, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Dubby Nanners, already read that one. Sorenko Productions said, SMH, why is every segment cringe of the day today?
Look, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Fine.
You can do whatever you want on Friday.
Yeah, it is.
There are no rules. Shane H. Wilder said, bonding over SSRIs. Thanks, I hate it.
That's the world we
As
live
you
in
should.
today. Like, I've seen worse than that. I've seen, like, where they talk about, like, their unique dosages and stuff like that. The world is a hellscape, my friends. It really is.
Nate said,
the thing is, it's not really that different. Like, if you've ever made the mistake of doing drugs or falling into that world, people in that world are just as obsessed with the culture around the drugs they do. So is
like the rituals,
the ritual nature
in
of using drugs in all of things like that. So the idea that people would take something like mental illness and then build a culture around it isn't really all that shocking. It's just depressing.
Mm-hmm. Nate said there's an awesome scene in Shameless where they team up for people with Down syndrome. Effing hilarious. I don't know what that means. Okay. Crispy Like Transport LLC said, I'm going to try to pick a theme song every Friday.
Okay. Then. All right.
We're looking forward to it. At
what point will you end up using Friday by Rebecca Black?
Hopefully next time.
Yeah.
I still stand by the fact that was not even a bad song.
There's a trap remix of it.
It wasn't a bad song.
There's a really funny, like, chopped and screwed trap remix of it. That's hilarious.
She did a remix of it just like a couple of years ago. That stands fantastic. I'm with Sorenko. The cringe is overwhelming. Can we get some house references or something, Brett, or some Johnny Bravo wig with a side of sarcasm? Also, will there be a show Monday?
There will not be a show Monday. And look, I set a goal last time. I said you have through the intro segments, which is usually about the first 40 to 50 minutes of the show while wearing the wig to get to 5 crisis parties. And if we get there, I will continue to wear it the next week. And last time we did not accomplish that. So I'm sorry. Nobody showed up.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Can we give it a second try?
No.
Ever? Okay, no.
No.
Mr. Joker said, I show up for Mary's unquenchable thirst for world domination, but I stay for Brett's encyclopedic knowledge of the USA Network.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
That is that's a shirt if I've ever
The
seen
duality of man.
It truly is. It truly is, guys. I'll give you guys what should I give you guys a recommendation for the weekend? What should people go and watch? Oh, okay. The other night I watched both Mad Max Fury Road to get back on track, because I hadn't seen it in ages before going to see Furiosa. And then after that I watched Hitman Agent 47, which I contend had an opening scene that could have really benefited with a little bit of help from Chad Stahelski and the John Wick creators, because it was right in that same realm where it's a lot of quasi what they call gun fu. And then in wide shots of shooting, they just make the mistake of cutting away from the headshots too quickly. It had all the makings of the John Wick nightclub scene from the first John Wick movie. It just wasn't handled as well, but it could have done it. It came out the year after. It was if it had come out in 2016, maybe they would have had time to see the original John Wick and then change how they decided to film that film. But Hitman Agent 47. Go watch the Hitman movies. The Timothy Olyphant one from 2007, and then the sequel with the other actor that came out in 2015.
I feel like I've been a second away from sneezing
all
for
day.
10 minutes.
Hate that.
It's horrible. Terrence Rice said this episode will be the death of me. It'll say died of cringe on my death certificate. Enjoy your Memorial Day, folks. What would be on your gravestone?
I want it to be
in
blank.
a world.
I want it to be blank.
I think you say in a world enough where it would work on the gravestone.
Yeah. Actually, the last thing I ever want on my gravestone is whatever placeholder phrase I use during my job.
It would be. It is what it is.
It is. Honestly, yes.
I think that would be a great.
The
great one.
The phrase "it is what it is" what. Hold on. The phrase "it is what it is" one of those things that they claim that that mental illness is a superpower. No, saying it is what it is to just about anything that happens to you is a superpower, my friends. Just go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens.
What would be on mine?
Bad app. I'm not reading that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Terrence Rice, but he doesn't deserve the clout. Terrence Rice said this episode.
I'm not reading that.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Oh, wrong one. Shane H. Wilder said, collect all of the tarded infinity stones. Lyme, lupus, ADHD, OCD, and Asperger's. Then become death, destroyer of worlds.
Okay, here you go. I can make a house reference right now. There's an episode, one of the best episodes of the show, where they treat a patient with autism, a not high-functioning patient with autism, and the whole episode goes back and forth as to whether they think House has Asperger's, and they come to the conclusion that, no, he's just a dick.
Which Tim pointed out astutely.
Yes, you don't have Asperger's, you're just an a-hole.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, if you have a disease, you're not special, you're unfortunate. These people will be the downfall of us all.
It's decades of television shows making them seem cooler than they are.
I really just hate seeing the parents of children with any of these disorders saying it's a superpower. It obviously makes your life more difficult, or else there wouldn't be a name for it, right?
Correct.
And that's okay to just say that. I don't know. Corey Anderson said, if you have a disease, Dreamcast Night said mental issues are like private parts. They're private for a reason. This behavior is as harmful for women as watching smut is for men. It's a drug.
That's a nice sentiment, but in the day and age we live in now, nothing that used to be considered private or something for just yourself is that way anymore, because social media allows you to share the deepest, darkest parts of who you are and actually benefit from it.
Nothing is private.
Nothing is private anymore. So, this happens a lot whenever people question the authenticity of people when they make public statements about other people. And that's just the sad fact is if you're a public figure and you use something like Twitter a lot, that's just the way it is. People are going to say things that they would not, that normally maybe something that should be said through text is getting said through a tweet now. And that's just how things are.
Matthew Mead said new Netflix show where the Lyme women confront the tick and deer.
Jennifer Lopez can do it.
Yes.
She can do anything. And you know what? And I changed my mind. Jennifer Lawrence can do it because we'll make it an action movie because she's the first action hero that was ever alive that was a woman. And then the deer will be played by Oprah Winfrey.
Great.
I love it.
No,
Dr. Phil will play the deer.
Okay.
Yes.
Why?
Because he's a doctor. He can... Just trust me on this one.
Okay, I'll
Go
trust
with
you
it.
on this one.
Go with me. I can't elevator pitch right now, but I'm right.
I saw this meme yesterday that was like me when I go back in time to confront the tick that gave Bella Hadid Lyme disease. And it's like...
That's worse than Fake getting arrested.
Yeah. Remember Fake getting arrested? That was like that was a gate.
You'll have
in
to
and of
explain to
itself.
the people in the chat what that is.
If only I could find that video again.
Yeah.
You know, Zoomer guys pretending to get arrested on TikTok so women will thirst after them. Channel Julio said, I would use my Lyme disease superpowers daily if my Lyme disease didn't make me fatigued every moment.
Well, the thing is, you didn't get a radioactive tick like the tick did, or a radioactive spider like Spider-Man got.
Yeah,
so
you have to get the magic one.
You have to get the magic one.
That was, you were lacking. Nate said, episode 619, can I get Rey Mysterio shout out?
Yes, he's a pro wrestler. Has a finishing move called the 619. Grabs the ropes and swings around and then kicks you in the face.
Why is it called that?
It's a area code.
Okay.
California area code. I'm assuming California.
Bookstore Thor said, tomorrow is my birthday, so here is a celebratory super chat. Everyone have a great holiday weekend and remember those who sacrificed it all for the USA.
Happy birthday.
Happy almost birthday.
Have a fun, safe birthday and
weekend.
And a happy holiday.
Yes. I love when people are like, it's my birthday, I'm giving you money.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, though. Surinko Productions said, look at a pic of a lamprey,
Lamprey.
It's and you'll get my pun.
They're gross.
Cool.
You'll get it if you look at a picture.
Okay. Rhaegar Targaryen said, name a prequel that you like. Mine is The Thing.
I need more, I need way more, time to plan that out. I guarantee you there's look, when I said that prequels are even less necessary than sequels, that doesn't mean that I don't like them. I'm just saying that nowadays you have to operate under the assumption that budgets are like $600 gazillion to make a movie. Does this need to exist? Most of the time I would say no, but that doesn't mean that there aren't prequels that I don't like. But I'll tell you right now, they're making an NCIS prequel about Gibbs that I have zero interest in seeing. Like less than zero interest.
Prequel TV shows are even worse, I think.
There's a Dexter prequel getting made right now. Doesn't need to exist, my friend.
I mean, Young Sheldon technically is a prequel series that never needed to exist and somehow, became a thing. It had a life of its own.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can work. I don't know why, and we would watch that.
Maybe what I'll do as to steel man my own argument is I'll make a list of prequels that I actually like.
I can't think of a single one right now, but
I mean, usually it would probably be. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, Rhaegar Targaryen, Garrett Lancaster said Dementis worked as a villain. Did you read this one during the review? I think you got it.
Yes.
Rhaegar Targaryen said Shane H. Wilder, I don't know how to say this, Ezio Auditore Assassin's Creed games and Assassin's Creed 3 are worth a look. They were mostly good, but they ruined the present day story. Ezio? Okay. I don't know how to say that. Surinko Productions said it's only a thing in Tokyo. Cities breed degeneracy.
Yeah, that is true.
Carnell said Brett's most used phrase is at the end of the day.
That is true. And that's actually perfect for a gravestone.
At the end of the day.
It's been a long one, guys. Time to call it a day. Are they making prequels to the oh, no, never mind. I was wrong about that one. Continue.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said Brett's headstone. Wow, I didn't know that.
That is true.
Why do you have so many catchphrases?
What can I say?
I think I need to work on my catchphrase game.
What can I say? I was about to say was I don't think there's any prequels in any of my lists of any of the stuff that
The fact that you have lists at the ready written on paper instead of your phone is
I have them on my phone too.
Iconic. Garrett Lancaster said you guys didn't mention the flying motorcycle in Furiosa. What?
The hella when they had the what are they not helicopters, I don't know what the word for it is. Like the parachutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Look, the motorcycles were probably the coolest part of it in it. Also, I liked that Dementis in his early scenes looks like he's on a chariot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't pay attention to things like that.
I mean, everybody look at Chris Hemsworth and you're like, that's awesome. Like when you see the dude looking awesome and evil driving a gigantic monsters truck, you're like, want a monster truck? Got to go to the gym.
Black Valley Moon said, check my goth psychobilly band Black Valley Moon.
Well, thank you.
I don't know what
that message was retracted on here, but thank you.
Well, sorry if you wanted to take it back. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that one was farther up.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Nomification said, Brett, how can you not champion the cause of autists on screen after seeing that time Alan Shore close to completely crushed Jerry in trial?
I'm not getting the reference. I know Alan Shore is the guy who created what's it called? Is he the one who created House? I forget. I could be wrong. I don't know what you're talking. I'm sorry, man. I'm not getting the reference right now.
That's fine.
Alan Shore, I think he was the one who created House.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, Rhaegar, I don't game enough to go back and play Assassin's Creed. Maybe an hour or two a week. You think these videos create themselves? Speaking of which, tomorrow I'll drop the Timcast TGIF lineup video.
Oh, it's a Boston Legal reference. Sorry, I've only seen Boston Legal like one time, and it's one of those shows that the first season I paid fairly close attention to, but after that, I kind of, it's one of those shows I watch while doing things and just really listen for James Spader saying clever stuff or William Shatner sounding funny. Sorry, didn't get the reference.
How dare you not get the reference?
That's
Brett.
my problem. All right, guys. All right, before we go, would you guys hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already, please and thank you. And Mary, just let everybody know where they can find you.
I will just do that. You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
All right, so he says,
we have another one. Wilhelm said Murica.
Yes, and guys, have a good Memorial Day weekend this weekend.
Salutes. 07's in the chat for Murica.
Perfect. If you guys would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, except for next week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch this show. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at popculturecrisis, and on Instagram at popculturecrisispod. Guys, we will be back with another episode on Tuesday. We will see you then.
Bye.
America.